Well, good morning and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus, where we're going to be spending about the next 45 minutes together, enjoying some beauty on the outside and some beauty on the inside by memorizing a different scripture verse every single week. So, our foundation verse for this podcast is I have hidden your word in my heart that I might sin against you. And that is from Psalm 119, verse 11. And all of our verses for this podcast are going to be coming from the Word and Color coloring book. So at the end of our time together, so every week you're going to color a different verse. And at the end of our time together, you're going to have this beautiful display of all these verses that you have learned over season one. So kind of a way to visually journal through your scripture memorization journey or Bible verse memorization journey. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So, excuse me. Let's take a look at our verse that we had last week. I hope that you enjoyed that one. Little on the simpler side. So last week, last week our verse was, so we stayed in Matthew, and our verse was, you are the salt of the earth, and that was from Matthew 5:13. This week, we're going to be changing gears, still in the New Testament, but this week we're going to be working in the book of Colossians, and that is set your mind on things above. Now, I love the image for this week. So you can see that one there. It's got the whole hot air balloon theme going on. So I don't know. I've always had an affection for hot air balloons. And so I'm really going to enjoy coloring that picture. So our theme for today is going to be berries. So we're going to have some berries on the eyes. We're going to have some berries on the lips. And let me get our verse scrolling across the bottom of our screen there. There you go. So we'll be looking at that verse while we're working on our makeup together. And then we have all week to work on that. If you will stay connected to one of the social media platforms that is your preference, you'll see that there is going to be some images that come out. One is specifically made for your phone wallpaper. I know that that's been super helpful to me to have the verse right there on my phone. So every time I open and close it, it's like right there. So I set it as the wallpaper in the background, just making to remove that blur for when your phone is open so you can actually read the verse. So just some things for you to do that'll help you with your scripture memorization. So let's just jump right in, working on that beauty inside outside. So here's what we got. We have got the Fenty. This is going to be the Pro Filter True Matte primer. We're just going to give that a couple of shakes and we're going to start with that. So one pump will do you with that. Hit those areas where you feel like you need a little help. With my combo skin, we want that foundation to not slide around or move. Then I have a little bit of aging skin. That's always lovely. And so this is going to help smooth out any fine lines and wrinkles as well. So just get that from the center of the face out. I hope y'all enjoyed that image from last week. I really enjoyed the sound of the waves crashing on that. All right, so now we're going to switch to our Bye Bye Under Eye. This is the shade number 11. What is this? Light nude. And we're going to be using this. This is a little bit, goes a long way with this one. So just make super careful that you're not putting out too much of it. We're just going to do a little ribbon of color here. Like seriously, that is a little bit excessive, but there you go. So we're going to put the concealer wherever there is an area on your face that you want to conceal something. So we're going to be using that for me. The redness here, redness on the cheeks, darkness under the eyes, darkness on the inside here. You find whatever it is that you don't like about your face and we can conceal it with this. So we're going to put a little bit of this in the main zones. And then we're going to let it set for a second to warm up to our body temperature so it will spread nicely. And this is probably, for me, I would say 2 shades lighter than what my foundation color is. Typically, you want your concealer to be 1 to 2 shades lighter. So you decide the level of lift that you want for it. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to let that set for a second. And then we're going to use our damp beauty blender. We're going to use the pointy end and we're going to blend out that concealer. Here we go. Making sure we're removing all that redness and darkness. And this will actually be kind of like an eye primer. We're just going to blend that out a little bit. Making sure we get in the corner there and then under the eye, and then blend that out to that redness in the cheek there. Nice. You can see how beautifully that blends out, and it has lifted that area just a little bit, but not too much. All right, so today we're going to try something a little different. We're going to do our contour next. So today I'm going to be using the Hoola Quickie Contour Stick. And this is, I know you've seen me use the Fenty contour stick before. This is just about the same thing. The shade's just a little bit darker, but we're going to put this on before we put our foundation on. So we're going to hit all those spots where we want our contouring to be. All right. And then we're going to use our beauty blender to blend all that out. In that cheek area, we're definitely going in an upward motion. And then on the top of the forehead, we're going to be going down and then up into that hairline just a little bit. At the jawline in a downward motion. All right. And now we're going to be using our Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation from Fenty. And this is in the shade, what are we, 185? We're going to give that just a couple of shakes, let that pigmentation mix around in the fluid there. I am having some allergy issue this morning, so pardon my dabbing. So we're going to use the round part of that beauty blender, and you're just going to use a partial pump, about that much for each different section of face that we're doing. And just pounds and blur that out. Another pump will catch the cheek over here. Another partial pump. Catch the cheek on this side. Oh, hey, good morning. Nice to see some of you out with me this morning. And another partial pump. We're going to catch the blend out along the bottom of that chin there. Not working over that area too much as we've already added the contour there. Another partial pump. We're going to hit the forehead. Maybe I shouldn't say hit. I think you know what I mean. Here we go. All right. If you feel like you need to add any additional contouring, you want any exaggerated area with that deep contour, feel free to go back over that again after you're done. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out there. So we're going to be using our Longtime No Shine. This is a setting powder from Lancome. And we're going to be using the puff that comes included in that to just press that gently into the foundation that we just set. And this is a translucent. They now have a translucent dark too. So if you have a little more pigment in your skin than I do, check that out. One thing that I love about this powder is its ability to not just set the foundation, but to also help control oil. So if you are a normal to oily person, this is a great thing. Now, another great thing about it is because it's milled so fine, even if you don't have combo oily skin, this will still work for you. And we're just going to go over every space let me actually shake out a little bit more of that. We're just going to go over every space that we have put that liquid foundation. Woo, so that we have it set nice. There we go. We're going to get up here on the forehead and make sure we get that area covered nice and good. Make sure you go all the way up to that hairline. We don't want to get up gooey into the hair, but we want to make sure that we get all the way up in there so that your face is all nice and even. Hitting those little creases around the nose here. All right. Once you have covered your whole face, you are now done with that. Now, since we have our contouring done already, we still need to add a little bit of, actually, in this particular case, let's do the blush first. So we're going to be using the Fenty Beauty. This is the Cheeks Out, and this is the Crush On Cupid color. Super cute. This one, I'm just going to use 2 fingers, and we're just going to pounce it in a couple times. There you go. Just give a little of that on here. Making sure we match, same location on the other side. There we go. Catch a little bit across here. Maybe a little bit there. All right, when you've got the shade that you want and pounced out the place that you want, we're going to move on to our highlighter. Now for today, we're going to be using the Too Faced. This is the Cheek Popper Blushing Highlighter. And this was actually in a collection of pinks that Too Faced had done. So you can see that I have loved this well. So we are going to be using the highlighter end of our contour brush here. Just swirl that around, get that in there. We're going to hit the top of the cheeks with that, up the side of the temple, top of the cheek, side of the temple. And then we're going to go down the center of the face. That is just so beautiful. I love that. All right. Next, we are going to take care of our lips. So today we are using, let me grab the right one. There we go. Today we're going to be using the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner, and this is in the shade of Alien. Okay, then. This is actually a black color. So we're going to be using a berries palette. So the lipstick that I have here is an Urban Decay. It's called After Dark. It's a nice matte. I didn't really have a lipstick color that I thought a liner color that I thought went with it too well. So I'm going to be using the black just to kind of give it something to blend out to. So we're going to line the lips. Right on that lip line. Making sure you are straddling right on the edge. Now, especially because I have opposing colors today, we want to make sure that we blend out that lip liner, not have a harsh line like what we're looking at right now. So we're going to take the pencil, we're going to come just to the inside of that line that we just did and fade it out just a little bit. So just with a little bit lighter pressure than what you just used. Stepping back, making sure you like the shape. All right. Once you are happy with the shape that you have, you can set that lip liner aside. And we're going to be using the Urban Decay. This, again, is the After Dark. It just says lipstick. All right. And now we're going to go cover those lips and go over that liner that we just put on. There you go. And you can see how beautifully that liner just blended into that lipstick. And so now what we have is kind of a nice ombre lip going on in kind of that wine berry color. All right, so now for the fun. So we're going to be using two different Juvia's Place palettes today. We're going to be using one shade from the Wahala 2, and then we're going to be using the Berries palette. So we're going to start out with the Wahala 2, and we're going to be using the Shakara right here. And we're going to do that on the top of the brow bone. So you're going to want to grab one of your, I guess, larger eyeshadow brushes. For me, this is a concealer brush, but I love it for an all-over eyeshadow brush. You're going to load both sides of the brush just gently. And then we're going to apply that to the brow bone up here. And that's just going to give us a nice highlight color on the top of our eye for this look that we're doing today. I love this palette, so I'm super excited about this. I think the Berries is a very pretty palette. I noticed that actually in my storeroom, I have the Wahala 2. So, I mean, not the Wahala 2, I'm sorry, the Culture 2. I cannot wait for that one. That is a spectacular palette. Wait till you see the colors that are on that one. All right, now we're going to be using a placement brush for our eyeshadow, minus the little cat here. There we go. And we're going to switch gears now to the Berries Juvia's Place palette. We're going to be living here today. We're going to be using this color here, and this color here. So this is our 3. So for right now, no matter what colors it is that you're using, for today it's a 4 color. So you're going to need a light, you're going to need 2 mediums, and a dark. So no matter what color you have chose, blue, brown, green, whatever, you can do the same thing with those colors. So this one is going to be your lightest color. The one that we're doing right now is going to be one of your mediums. We're going to take that medium. If there's a differentiation, like one's a little bit lighter than the other one, use the lighter of the 2. And that one we're going to put on the inside of your lid. So you're going to go about 2/3 of the way across the lid. And remember, better to load small and have less fallout than to load too much and you end up with fallout all over your face. All right, making sure we get all the way down to that lash line there. That's color 1. Set that brush down, grab another same size brush. So this is going to be for your main shadow color. Now we're going to grab that other medium that's probably just a tiny bit darker than that one we just put on. And that's going to go on that outer third. And you're just going to overlap them ever so slightly here. All right. Now we've got kind of our foundation happening for our eyeshadow. So now let's get a little bit into the nitty gritty of this. So now we're going to be living in this darker shade right here. So find in whatever color palette that you have chosen, the darkest shade. We're going to be using an angled shadow brush. And with this application, you're just going to take this flat part here and do that in the shadow. We're not going to be using the sides. We're just using that front facing right there. So you're going to gently drag that through so you can see the only place I have shadow is right on the tip of that brush. There's no shadow on the sides. And this is going to go just above the brow bone. We are going to hit that crease just above that crease right there. There you go. You're going to come back in, go to about the center of the eye. And don't worry if it's a little bit messy now, because we'll fix it up later. Okay. I'm going to get to the other eye here. Same zone, same place. Now, if you're like me, it's actually I'm going over this area twice to get the color intensity that I want. And actually, this side may take 3 times. All right, there we go. And now we're going to come back into the center of the eye on the bottom there. There we are. And again, remember, doesn't matter if it's messy right now. I think I'm going to need a creak-free chair. All right, there you go. So we want to add a little bit of definition. So we are going to grab our eyeliner brush, and you're going to, again, use just that flat surface of that brush through that eyeshadow palette. And we're going to define the bottom of that line we just did. This will help clean it up a little bit, which is why I was saying don't worry. If you had a little bit of messiness there, it's not going to matter. All right, and define it over here as well. Right here on this inside, right there, I always have a tendency to build a little messier than the other side. I'm guessing because I'm right-handed, not left-handed. So I'm sure you'll find, some sort of weak zone in your application here. We're going to come back in towards the bottom there with that. All right. Now we have kind of a line thing going on here. As you look straight ahead, you can see that the color is peeking up above where my lid is there, but we want to blend that out a little bit. So I'm going to grab a fresh, clean angle brush, and the lighter color, well, this one here that we used to start with, we're going to grab that very gently. You're just going to like tap, tap. We just need a little bit on it. And you're going to blend it over the top of what you just did so that we end up with no harsh lines. Same thing for the other side. Just blend that over the top. Removing any harsh lines. There you go. Now, if you find yourself, like right now, I've got this little thing happening right here. Take your bullet and just whoop that out. I'm telling you, this thing's an eraser. I love that brush. All right. If you found that you have blended up a little bit too high, you can always take your larger eyeshadow brush, tap it back into that lighter color, and just go over that again. But as we do our brows, you're probably going to find yourself doing that anyways to work up the underside of what you're doing with your brow. So for right now, super happy with that. Let's go ahead and do the liner, and then we're going to add a topper. So for today, I'm going to be using, this is the NYX Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, and Definitely Turn a Water on It Extreme Shine Woo liner. This is in the color Black Sparkle. So this is, actually, it looks like it got stuck in the lid. So let's just use our sharpener, get that bad boy so that it's good for us. We need a little bit of a point, but not too extremely pointy. About like that right there. Little flat nub on the end of it's just fine. So we're going to line that from the outside corner. And we're going to go about a third of the way in. I'm sorry, about 2/3 of the way in. So just a little bit past where you blended out that eyeshadow. And then on the bottom, we're going to come in about a third of the way. There we go. Looks like I went a little farther on that side, so let's just make them even. There we go. And any fallout that you have, you're going to use your light dusting brush. Just whisk that away like that. Now that's gone. Now we want to finish out two things. First thing is we want to catch the bottom because right now we've got eyeshadow up on the top and nothing down on the bottom. And then we also want to add a topper to kind of minimize a little bit of what we got going on there. So we're going to grab our liner brush again. And you're going to use the shade that you used here on the outside edge. So it's your darker medium. And we're going to line right over that liner on the bottom. And then get that to the inside corner there. And then just walk that out to that shadow over there. All right. Ta-da! All right, so let's look at that topper that we're going to be using today. Now, this was a Juvia's Place that she put out when she did the Wahala 2. And this one is just, it's a liquid shadow, but we're going to use it kind of like a topper. So you can see what this looks like. I am going to actually put it on the tip of my finger and then apply it in here. There we go. Same thing on the other side. We'll just use the other side of that foot that's on there. There we go. And we're just highlighting that nice lighter color we have happening in there. Once you've got that exactly where you want that, I like to look down for a minute because it takes a minute for that to just kind of dry down. You can feel it's kind of a coolness to it. So while we're waiting for that to do what it needs to do, we're going to grab our liquid eyeliner. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex liquid eyeliner. Give that a couple of shakes. Let that ink kind of work its way around. And then we're going to line gently and lightly across the top of the lid. So right up against that lash line, starting from the outer corner. And we're just going to work our way all the way across. Just going to give a fine frame to that eye there. Give our eyelids something for those lashes to cling to. There we go. Working over to the other side. All right. Nice. Now we need to add a frame to our brow. So we got one on the bottom. Let's catch our brows up on the top. If you have, like regular people hair, use the brow product that you like. I know in our store, we enjoy the Benefit eyebrow products probably the most. And then second is probably going to be the Anastasia, I would say. So for me, I am using this is an Epic Wear liner stick from NYX in the color Pink Spirit. So if you have fashion colored hair, I have used lip liner, I have used eyeliner. If you get on Amazon, you can find some that's kind of like a brow mascara. Do what you got to do to get the color that you need. I love it when the brows match the hair, though. All righty, we're just going to follow that brow shape. And again, I know you all have heard me mention this, but if you do not love the shape of your brow, you're interested in a lamination, so you have less work to do every time, come and see my girl Olivia. She'll get you hooked up there. You need to learn how to use a brow product, come in, schedule an appointment with her. She can help you with that. Well, she does walk-ins too, but if you schedule it, then you're assured to have an appointment time with her. All right. And God bless you if you were given good hairy brows, which happens to be the trend right now. I think we're finally swinging back around to thin brows, though. So I'll be good here in just a couple of months. Okay, so we're going to make sure that our brows end up even, coming in about the same distance to each other. I think this one's a little shorter. There we go. And now that we've got the brow color down, we're going to use our spoolie to blend that out, working in kind of an upward and outward, following that hairline in the brow. We're just going to brush that and smooth that out so it's not quite so liney and harsh looking. Those are the technical terms, liney and harsh looking. All right. Once you've got that the way that you want it, this is where I was talking about how you're going to probably need that all over brush again. So I'm just going to take that all over brush. I'm going to tap it like one time in that color that we used out of that Wahala 2 and just run up underneath that brow. Now that I'm finished, now that I've spoolied it to make sure I didn't disturb any of that eyeshadow up there. So we kind of touching up this area too. Now, if you want, you can take, let me see what I've got here. This is another kind of a liner brush, a little tiny, but you can take that liquid shadow that we were using from the Juvia's Place that we used for the eyeshadow topper, and we can add that to the inside corner of the eye just to give it a little bit of something, something. So we're going to take that brush and just kind of grab some right off the tip, and then we're going to add that to the inside of the eye right here. Nice. And if you want, you can blend that out just a little bit. Okay, looks like I need a little tiny bit right there. Okay, so let's give our lashes a little bit of something today. So I'm going to be using the Tarte Eyelash Curler, which I dearly love. I think it does a great job of curling your lashes, not pinching. The rubber lasts, the little piece lasts for quite a while. It comes with an extra one with it. The shape of the gripper kind of grabs your fingers and wraps around your fingers so that it doesn't slip out. We're going to be using the Fenty Beauty. This is the Hella Thick Mascara in the 'Cause I'm Black color. And we are going to make sure we do not pinch our eyelids with this. So bring that in. Oh, you know what? We have not said our verse not one time. I am just losing my mind. So let's say our verse together. That is scrolling across the bottom of your screen there. And our verse for this week is set your mind on things above. And this is coming from Colossians 3:2. And remember, this is still a verse that we're working on. So we're going to say that verse while we are curling our lashes. It's kind of a short verse, so I'm thinking let's say that twice so we can get a good amount of curl in there. So here we go. Make sure you find your sweet spot where it's going to curl it right next to the lid, but it's not going to pinch it. Okay, when you've got it ready, here we go. Set your mind on things above, Colossians 3:2. Here we go. Set your mind on things above, Colossians 3:2. Okay, now move to the other side. Find your sweet spot there. Make sure I got that right scripture. Yep, 3:2. Okay. Okay, find your sweet spot. Step away just a little bit. There we go. Okay, ready and go. Set your mind on things above, Colossians 3:2. One more time. Set your mind on things above, Colossians 3:2. And now release and set that aside. Let's get our mascara on. For me, this is going to involve a magnifying mirror. Depending on your vision, you may just be able to do it in a regular mirror, but when I have contacts in, I can see far away and then I can't see close up. So it's like a losing battle here. So we are going to take that mascara and give a nice coat to the lashes before we put the false lashes on. My lashes are kind of blonde, so if you don't do that, you're going to see these blonde lashes in front of the black ones, and it just looks kind of weird. If you were gifted by God with dark lashes, you may get to skip this step altogether. Just depends on what you like. One thing about putting the mascara on is it's also going to give you a little more volume to the lashes. So if you have a wispy, you maybe like the shape and design of a wispy, but you want a little more volume than what a wispy offers, then go ahead and put mascara on your lashes first, and I think you'll find that extra volume that you're looking for. Now you can see right here on this side, as I was doing this, I was talking and I touched right there. So you're going to take your brush that has a little bit of shadow still on it, and you're just going to tap that away. Now we have that topper on there, so it's not behaving very well today. So let me just get it in that color a tiny bit, and we're just going to color that away. There we go. Once we get the lashes on there, you're not gonna see it. All right, and now let's catch our bottom lashes with this. We want to make sure we go all the way to the skin, not touching the skin, but all the way to the skin with that mascara, so we don't have a gap. There we go. And the other side here. Oh, that's always fun. And you can see I'm going to grab my bullet here because I have touched my cheek. And that was a pretty good glop. I'm going to have to probably work that out. That's okay. We can get that in just a second. So get those bottom lashes the way that you want. Maybe check those top lashes one more time. There we go. Now for this little gloppy thing we got going on over here that I did, that's always just a joy. Take your little bullet. You're going to take a very tiny, tiny pump of your foundation. In fact, I would even tap that out. There you go. And just work out that spot. And now we are going to add our false lashes. These have already been trimmed. Today I am going to be using the Ardell Active Lash, and this is in Gains. I have already trimmed these. So remember, when you trim your lashes, you're going to do it from the outside corners. So always dry fit your lash before you just go sticking it on there, because usually most people have to trim some part of the lashes off of the lash. They're usually too long. And then we are going to be using the Ilure 18-hour adhesive. So we're just going to do that one at a time. I'm also going to be using my Velour eye tools. Love this one right here. This is like your right hand. Also, for those of you who don't like putting your fingers near your eye, it's easy. I don't like my fingers near my eye, but I can do this one because it's a whole lot smaller and it doesn't bother me at all. So we're going to start out by grabbing that lash from the outer corner of the tray, and you're just going to pull that off. We're going to hold the lash in the center. So like this. Take that lash glue and we're going to apply that adhesive right there on that band. And then we're also going to come on the back side and catch the flat part of the back of that weft. And we're going to set that down and let that set for just a minute while we grab the other lash. And again, grabbing that from the outside corner to remove it from the tray, holding that from the center. And that adhesive is going to go right on that lash line. And then we're going to come to the inside of that weft there and catch that, making sure especially that we've got the outside corner so we don't end up with any lift or anything. I do usually, well, always keep an extra lash adhesive in my purse. In the event, I don't know, you should have some random crying experience or something and your lashes lift. You'll be able to fix that on the fly. So just a little tip for you. It's also easier if you did have any lift, like maybe on the inside corner of the lash. It's easier to look down and pull that lash and put the glue from the top side than trying to do it from the downside. So now we're going to grab that first lash that we did, and that is going to be just about ready. And that is going to be on this side here. So we're going to set that right down in the middle, right where your lashes meet your lid. And then we're just going to work it out. Get that outside edge right along that lash line. Inside edge, grab that, put that right along your lash line. And then while it's still working its magic, we're going to take our lashes and work our lashes into the false lashes. Let's make sure we got that inside corner contact good. There we go. Now we're going to go grab the lash on the other side. I just love it when you can see the comparison between with lash, without lash. Definitely makes a big difference. Okay, so this one we're going to set it on the middle just like we did the other one. Right where that lash meets that lid. Outside corner. There you go. We're going to grab that inside corner and just touch that down. We're going to work our lashes into those lashes. Checking that inside corner. Looks like that lifted up just a little bit. Sometimes you have to do that a couple of times just to get it to, decide it wants to be where you want it to be. And there we are. You just have to tell it who's boss. Here we go. You can also press in just a little bit if you want to make sure that your lashes are down far enough. Now you will see one reason why I use the liquid liner before I put the lashes on is if you do have any space between your lash line and the false lashes that you put on, that black liner is kind of like your little taste of forgiveness that helps to conceal that gap. And I see that lash has lifted again in that corner. You're just trying to get on my everlast nerve today, aren't you? There you go. Stay. All right, we'll just let that set right there. Fan it a little bit. That's just making it dry faster. All right. So, what do we have left for today? We are going to set all of this gorgeousness we have worked on with our Urban Decay D-Slick. Tilt your head back. Give yourself a couple sprays. Fan that down. All righty. And now we are all buried up for our today. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It has been a joy to work on some beauty on the outside and some beauty on the inside. So let's do a little scripture review. So let me see if I can get this at the same time. Let me scroll back up here. We're going to turn this one off for just a minute. And we are going to go to our very first verse from season 1. That is 1 Peter 1:24 and 25. And that is, the grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of the Lord endures forever. And then we moved to Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Then we moved on to God's grace is all you need. And that's 2 Corinthians 12:9. We had be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. That's Joshua 1:9. Then we moved to, I liked the picture for that one. The Lord is my strength and my song. And that was from Exodus 15:2. Then we had the, this is the day. Wait, is that the next one? Yes, excuse me. This is the day that, wait. Okay, now I got the right graphic up there for you. Okay, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. And that is from Psalm 118:24. Then in what episode are we up to now? The sun and the star. Let's see. That was Psalm 8:3. Psalm 8:3 was episode 7. So episode 7 was the moon and the stars you set in place. And that was from Psalm 8:3. And then we had taste and see that the Lord is good. Psalm 34:8. Let me scroll down just a little bit so I can get, there we go. Then we had Galatians 6:9. Yes. And let us not grow weary in doing good. For if we do not give up, we will, no, wait. For in due season, we will reap if we do not give up. There we go. And that's Galatians 6:9. Then in episode, let's see, Proverbs 31:25, that was episode 10. Proverbs 31:25 in episode 10 was, she is clothed with strength and dignity and laughs without fear of the future. And that was from Proverbs 31:25. Our next one we had, that was one of my favorite pictures because I liked the roses on that one. That was Psalm 96:4. Great is the Lord and worthy of praise. And then we had Isaiah 49:16. Let's see, that 49:16 was, episode 12. Isaiah 49:16, I have written your name on the palms of my hands. And let me scroll down a little bit. There we go. This reminded me of my dad, so I like this one. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul. And that was from Hebrews 6:19. Hebrews 6:19. Woo, woo. Okay, then we had what was probably one of the more complicated verses that we have had so far, and that is Philippians 4:8. I have to get my fingers involved in this one. Okay, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is holy, commendable. If there is anything excellent, no, hold on, whatever is commendable. If there is any excellence, whatever is commendable and worthy of praise, think on these things. Okay, so you may get things out of order. That's okay, though. We're looking for the gist of the verse. So anything of excellence, these are the things that you want to think about. Okay, Philippians 4:8. That was the Wendy summary version. Then we had Proverbs 16:24, which was episode 15. Let me get over here to that for you. Kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul. And that was Proverbs 16:24. And then we had last week's, let me go back to here. There we go. Last week we were in Matthew, and that was be the light. Matthew 5:16. We stayed in Matthew last week. I have to scroll up for that one. And Matthew last week was Matthew 5:13. And in Matthew 5:13, we learned you are the salt of the earth. And then today, this week, we are going to be working on, I don't have a thingy for that one. That one's going to be Colossians 3:2. Set your mind on things above. That's going to be balloons in that verse. So I hope that you enjoy that graphic that we're going to be doing. And again, all of our verses this year are going to be coming from the Word in Color coloring book. And so make sure you pick up your copy there. There is a QR code and the link on your screen there. You'll also find it in the show notes. So when you use that link, that's kind of like giving me a tip. So I really appreciate that. And that's just going to be like your journal of all these verses that we are doing together throughout this season. So you can find us on most social media platforms, definitely my YouTube channel, and then also Podbean. I announced last week I was on Podbean. So that's cool because you can actually have that in your hand on your phone with the Podbean app. So make sure you check all of that out. That also has our show notes in there too. So that's a great thing too. So let me just give us a little verse on our way out, give a blessing on you. Okay, here we go. So, my friends, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord be with you throughout this week. I just pray that you would enjoy these verses, that you would memorize these verses so that you can have that word in your heart. And I just pray this week, Father, that you would bless my friends, whether they've come with me today live or they're looking at this on a podcast or they're watching this on a video later. I just pray that you would bless them and that you would help them to use these verses in their daily life so that they become a part of their being. Help these verses to draw us to you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. It has been a joy. Until next time, my friends.